If it hurts, you ain't breaks, we'll get you, don't let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, food games after this win in. Press you again, we're here for the first man. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols!
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
I don't know. Truly, like, I don't know how I could answer that because I don't know what it would take. Really, I don't know what it would be until I feel accomplished. If we win that natty, when we win that natty, then I'll say, like, my story's been good.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Let me tell you something, man. That clip of Joey Aguilar, it does not get old. I watched it all night long on Saturday night. Watched it till about 2 o'clock in the morning. It took me a couple of hours to come down off that high. Went to sleep, woke back up on Sunday, and I'm still riding that high. Go to sleep, wake up on a Monday morning, pour myself a hot cup of grade A grounds coffee. And let me tell you something, the grade A grounds, the B is for blueberry, taste a little bit more sweet on this Monday morning. The morning show brought to you by Grade A Grounds every single Monday and Friday. Go to gradeagrounds.com. Use that promo code scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You're going to use Vols, VAWLS. Boogie, why do you use Vols? You don't know how to spell Vols. I'm never watching your show again. Well, we spell Vols so we can sell merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS and not get in trouble with the University of Tennessee, but also it stands out. So when you go to get your Grade A Grounds coffee, you'll remember, oh yeah, Boogie doesn't know how to spell it. It's VAWLS. You'll save 20% at checkout. I've gone on and on and on about how great this coffee is, but you guys in the chat, everybody that's grabbed this coffee has been satisfied with the taste. Plus, it's supporting an East Tennessee guy, a VFL. He graduated from the University of Tennessee. He bleeds orange. Billy's a good dude. Go support their company. Also, if you're doing a fundraiser for your little league team, softball team, your school classroom, go check them out. Great company, great coffee, greatagrounds.com. Let's check up with you guys, man. Come on in, pull up a chair. Smash the thumbs up. Takes you 2 seconds. We would appreciate it. Share out the link. Let somebody know we're live. I'm not banned. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not banned from Facebook. They just think that I'm spam, and that's okay because I probably am. Luke Thompson is here. He drops a $2 super chat. We appreciate door fees. That's another way you can support the channel. A $2 super chat goes a long way, and Luke says door fee. Good morning, Luke. It is good to see you in the chat. Every time the light comes on, Luke is here. Brian Turner drops a $5 super chat, says door fee. Good morning, Vol Nation. Go Big Orange. Thank you, Brian. We appreciate your generosity this morning. Call me Happen for 5 says we're about to go 9-3 with a win in the swamp and a missed field goal against Georgia away from the playoff. I used to pray for times like this. GBO. Yeah, sometimes a little perspective is good. Where we're at now, but also where we want to be. It's okay to want more, strive for more. But man, you got to look at it and be pretty satisfied with what Josh Heupel has done. Todd Landers is here, drops a $2 super chat, says door fee. Good morning, Vol fam. Well, good morning, Todd. It is always good to see you in the chat. It's not Talkin Vols this morning. It's Locked On Talkin Vols. Let's get Cain on here and talk a little Tennessee, Florida.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good morning, Cainer. How we doing? Man, Monday feels a little bit more sweet. A little bit more sweet than it did after Oklahoma, after the bye week, after New Mexico State. Different vibe in the air this week, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, doing something you haven't done since 2003, you whooped up on them. I mean, it was a complete dominating showing. And, you got a chance to play spoiler, and then we'll see what Vanderbilt's college football playoff implications look like after Tuesday, but a good way to end the regular season to knock out another rival from the playoff race.
What do you think about the win overall? You know, I saw a lot of – man, can we just be happy? Can we not – why do we have to ruin good things? Let's just celebrate a win over Florida. 22 years of losing on the road to that football team. And then I get it. Like some people selfishly, you want to take out a little anger on the Gators, but Josh Heupel said, no, we're content to just pump the brakes, get out of here with a win, and let's go take care of Vanderbilt. But, you know, at the end of the day, largest road win since 1955. Josh Heupel continues to just check off things, right? The streak to Alabama, now a streak to Florida. What he's done, I think it was AP in your all's little post-game mini podcast that pointed out Tyree West. Tyree West is a guy that if you go beat Vanderbilt and you go take care of business in your bowl game, he's going to graduate averaging 10 wins per season. That's pretty dang good track record for Tyree West in his time at Tennessee.
No, it's really good. I mean, you know, if you're complaining after a win like that, I don't know, man. It's going to be tough to find joy in any of life's circles. Florida, again, they're 3-8 right now. They're 2-6. Like, this is the expected outcome. Florida is not. I mean, Florida is better than the record indicates, but Florida is not a good football team. It's just not. And so you expect to go and win games like this against inferior opponents, and Tennessee did that. And you look at the second half, I mean, the game was condensed, right? I mean, Tennessee had 3 second-half possessions. I think there were 6 second-half possessions total. I mean, Tennessee ball controlled and, you know, had a chance for a 50-yard field goal and missed it. That took 5:20 off the clock. Florida had drives of 8 minutes. Tennessee had another drive to finish off the game with 7 minutes and 11 seconds. I mean, you were up 31-0 at halftime. So, again, there's really not anything to complain about. I mean, I'm nitpicking. I was nitpicking on the board yesterday. I don't understand not going for a touchdown, at the 11-yard line with 23 seconds left, but before the half. But, I mean, his decision was to settle for the 3 and to make it 5 possessions. But, again, like in a 28-0 ball game, that doesn't matter, in my opinion. It just doesn't. Now, if it was 14-7, if it was 21-7, that does matter. But You were up by 4 scores anyway. Again, that's me nitpicking there. But I mean, again, Tennessee just I said it like 4 times on the post-game mini-pod. Like, Tennessee took belt to A, man. I mean, just whipped them. I mean, there's no other way you can phrase it. I mean, Tennessee just beat the crap out of them, and that felt good. It felt good for a lot of Tennessee fans that, hadn't beaten Florida a lot, hadn't beaten Florida down there in 2 decades, and again, it further kind of solidifies Tennessee as where you are as a program now, winning the games you're supposed to, and kind of what your offense can do whenever it's clicking on all cylinders. Not just the offense, man, the defense. The defense played well the last 3 games. The defense certainly was just as good as the offense was down in Gainesville.
Let's start with that offense because they came out cooking and, to your point, complimentary football, right? The offense is cooking. The defense is cooking. It's what we've been waiting for all year long, but the offense scored on their first 4 possessions. I love the way they attacked the field. The offense felt different to me, and I'm not a guy that has sit here and criticize play calling. This year, I think the offense, when you're up there, I think they were, 2nd in the country in scoring going into this game. When you're doing that, you're doing pretty dang good on offense. But it looked different. And I don't know if it was Ethan Davis, his athleticism. I love getting him involved in the flats. Of course, I think it was one of the young freshman tight ends. It was either Van Dorselaer or Deshaun Brame used him in the flats. They attacked the middle of the field with Mike and Braylon. And I get that Florida was sitting back. Their safeties were back. But Tennessee found a way to attack. We talked about it after the Oklahoma game. If you had taken the underneath stuff, taken what Oklahoma gave you, you win that football game. You didn't. I like that Joey was patient. Joey took what was there. I don't know if it was more Joey taking what was there or if this coaching staff drew up a game plan to attack what they thought Florida was going to give them. What do you think about this offensive performance against the Gators? Did it look different? Did it look a little bit more creative?
Tennessee's always a big RPO team, so there were still the RPO concepts in there. I thought that the short to intermediate passing game was apparent. Again, you mentioned the 3 high safeties, so I think it's a little bit of both. I think Joey was not greedy, and Joey took what was in front of them. I think kind of going into this, Tennessee had a specific game plan and how they were going to attack Florida, and I thought the wrinkles were really, really nice. That first touchdown pass to Ethan Davis was really, really cool, lining him up at H-back and sending him, an underneath belly, essentially, throwing it out to the flat, and you had essentially a crack that I say crack. It was not a crack block because he didn't end up doing it, and I think that's illegal now in football, which is super sad. But Mike Matthews had that seal there on the edge. It was just a really, really nice play design. What I love too is, man, and Tennessee should always be like this, but more importantly, Florida had allowed 200 yards or more on the ground entering this ball game in 2 straight games. Tennessee was patient. Tennessee ran the football. Deshaun Bishop. It's weird. Peyton Lewis was not a go in this game, so I thought it would be a whole lot of Bishop and a whole lot of Star Thomas. They implemented DeJuan Morrison there, and he was a true part of that 3-man rotation, but it was still Deshaun Bishop getting the bulk of the carries. They rode him. He had 16 first-half carries. He ran the football 6 times on the opening possession, which I thought was really, really cool. 4 straight times before the touchdown pass to Ethan Davis. So, yeah, I think it can be a little bit of both. I think Tennessee certainly went in with a nice game plan. Took what the Florida defense gave them. I thought for the most part, Tennessee's offensive line held up all right, in protecting Aguilar. I thought they run blocked well. I was more intrigued with the defensive wrinkles. Again, this is the 4-3 concept to match 12 personnel. That's not anything new. Tim Banks has done that for years, but they lived in that the other night. And maybe that's a little bit to do with, not as much depth now that Boo Carter's gone at star, because when you run a 4-3, you take Jalen McMurray, the star player, off the field. Maybe it's because Florida does not have a down-the-field passing threat. Maybe it's because they hit the short, the intermediate, and you wanted to take some of that away. I thought it was a really, really good game of coaching on both sides of the football for Tennessee.
I think Hubs brought this up on his 10 things. I think talking about T-Lander, I thought T-Lander looked way more athletic, looked way more comfortable in a 4-3 than he did a 4-2-5. We saw Arian Carter. It's almost like you knew Arian Carter was good, and then when he was hurt, it was like, oh, he's just not fast enough. And it's like, well, that's because he's hurt. He's not 100%. And then it felt like, man, he was shot out of a cannon on Saturday and played good football. A lot of people question Tim Banks. A lot of people doubt Tim Banks, and they have since he's been here. You and I have talked about how this defense carried this football team a year ago. That's what we expected this year, and we've seen the opposite, right? Tim Banks' defenses have trended up since he came to Rocky Top, and this year was that one outlier, that one concern. Do you give Tim Banks an out? Where are you at in the Tim Banks conversation? Again, this defense has started to play better. Oklahoma's not exactly setting offensive records. You played New Mexico State, and you played a 30-point, 40-point, 50-point, 60-point, 70-point, 80-point, 90-point, 100-point, 200-point, 300-point, 400-point, 500-point, 600-point, 700-point, 800-point, 900-point, 1,000-point, 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 1,0 now 3-8 Florida Gators team that doesn't necessarily attack you down the field. They're going to really be tested on Saturday. I hate Diego Pavia. I've downplayed him all year. He's playing really good football right now. But where are you at in this Tim Banks conversation?
Well, I mean, I think Diego Pavia might be in New York. I mean, especially if he balls out against Tennessee. I mean, his last 3 games, I did the numbers. His last 3 games, I don't have them written down in front of me. His last 3 games are insane. I mean,
it's 1,429 yards, 1,226 through the air, 203 on the ground, 14 touchdowns. And he's only turned the football over twice in those 3 games, once an interception and 1 fumble loss. So
he's got at least 1
balling.
rushing touchdown in like 5 straight games. I mean, he's playing out of his mind. So, yeah, Oklahoma's offense, not good. New Mexico State's offense, obviously. Florida's offense, not good. Jaden Ball's a player, though, man. Jaden Ball should transfer and go ball out somewhere. But like Tennessee's defense has improved, but again, it's not been against like some really good offenses. So, yeah, Tennessee's defense is going to get tested big time. We'll see how much this defense has improved come Saturday. It was for Tim Banks, again, you kind of painted the picture. I mean, I think he's improved every single year he's been here, except this year. Last year, Tennessee was the only reason Tennessee was on anybody's radar and the only reason Tennessee made any college football playoff. And that's no disrespect to Dylan Sampson because he had a phenomenal year. It was the Tennessee defense. I mean, it was as simple as that. I mean, Tennessee was not a college football playoff team without that defense. I mean, it's not even close. And so, this year took a step back, and that's unfortunate. Injuries didn't help, but that doesn't tell the whole story. And so, I think Tim Banks has done a really good job here overall at Tennessee. I think this year's been a bit of a disappointment. So, we'll see what happens. I know a lot of people just want somebody fired all the time. And, I mean, fact of the matter is Josh Heupel's never fired an assistant. So, I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm not saying he won't, make changes this offseason on either side of the ball. I don't know what's going to happen, but I mean, Josh Heupel, literally to this point in his coaching career, he's never fired an assistant. So good to see the defense kind of turn things around and start playing better because, again, these guys have played football. These guys have made plays, and it's not like this is new for these guys for the most part. I mean, it was new for Ty Redmond, but can't say that anymore. It was new for Idris Farouk. Can't say that anymore. Those guys are seasoned veterans now, and so it's good to see that unit kind of turn the corner here, and hopefully they continue to make plays. And they didn't cause a turnover on Saturday, but again, didn't really need to because they were just whipping them up on both sides of the football.
I'm not a big guy. I'm always the last one on the ship, right? Like Butch Jones, Derek Dooley. I'm going down with the ship. I'm not one that jumps on the bandwagon of firing coaches. But I think when you look at what Tim Banks has done historically, and then you look at this year, and you can say you're making excuses, but I don't know that it's making excuses. I think it's just kind of the reality. You lose 2 NFL draft picks in Ricky Gibson and Jermod McCoy to injury. You lose. You might as well say you lost your 3 best defensive backs on this football team in 2025. I look ahead to 2026. You got a lot of talent, man. You got a lot of talent coming back on offense. You got a lot of young talent to be excited about. I've said this, and people are going to say I'm crazy. I think you have the talent returning. We're going to talk about Joey Aguilar here in just a second. You have the talent returning to make a run for the college football playoff, to make a run for a national championship in 2026. Yeah, I said national championship. I think you have that type of talent. I don't think that's the year that I want to run Tim Banks out of town and say, hey, let's bring in a new coach. Let's bring in new schemes. Let's relearn this whole system so we can go play football in 2026. Now, could you be better off? Maybe. Let me catch up with the chat, and then I want to talk about college football playoffs. I want to talk about expectations for Tennessee. Corey Smith has been a member for 37 months. Corey, we appreciate your support. You members are why I get to do this. You see, Cainer gets a salary. Cainer is professional. Cainer is a media guy. I am just grasping at straws and praying that you guys support this channel, and you do. So shout out to Corey for 37 months of support. David Hall drops a 5 spot, says, good morning, guys. Shout out to Cainer from Jeff County. I listen every day to both of you.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Shout out, David. Let's see here. We got Brian Turner gifting 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. That's the equivalent of a $25 super chat. Thank you, Brian. We got a little gimmick we do around here. If we get 35 either new members or you guys gift them, whatever it takes to get to 35 members in a stream, then we got to give away some free merchandise. Luke Thompson gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. Shout out, Luke. We appreciate you. Luke also drops a $2 super chat, says this will be Pavia's last college football game. Well, they'll get a bowl game, but let's take away that opportunity to go play in the college football playoff. Cody, Well, Cody's making me send out some merchandise because Cody has lost his mind. He drops not 20, but 40 Talkin Vols memberships. That's the equivalent of an $80 super chat. We got to play the clip for that. Shout out, Cody, man. That is very generous.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols.
Shout out, Cody, man. $80 is 80. Do I even know how to do math? No, that's not. Cainer, what's 20 times 5, Cainer? That's 100. So 40 times 5. That's a $200 super chat. That's a $200 super chat. Here. Is that right? 40 times 5.
Yes, 200.
That's a
200.
We played the wrong clip. Let's play this one. I like this one. Brent Hubbs likes this quote or this clip, by the way.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Shout out, Cody, man. That's crazy. A $200 super chat, and that wasn't enough. He also dropped a 10 and says, Matthew has, I don't know anybody a free shirt. Do you remember this, Cainer? It was on a Monday show early in the year where he placed a bet. And he said, if this happens, I'm gifting this many memberships. If that happens, I'm gifting this many memberships. He laid it out and you said, Boogie, you're going to make a lot of money. And then I thought Cody was just going to ride off into the sunset and disappear forever. He says Matthews has passed 700 yards. Aguilar is over 20 touchdowns. My preseason commitment. I am a man of my word, Boogie. GBO. I completely forgot about that. I do have it screen captured, but I forgot that Cody said he was going to gift all those memberships. So you guys still have some work to do. 28 memberships away from free merch. Shout out to Cody for being a man of his word. I completely forgot about that. Coach Jay is in the house. He's been a member for 38 months. We also make him do a little work around here. The expectation is for UCLA to make a deep run in the playoff after a big win versus USC. See, last night we played our EA Sports College Football Patreon Dynasty right here on air because it was me versus Coach. He's UCLA because he's got to be Nico. I'm USC. And it was college football playoff eliminator. It was win or go home. And I lost. Congratulations, Coach.
I was going to say, that didn't happen. UCLA just lost to, was it Washington State?
Yeah, well, they didn't lose last night. They beat the brakes off of USC. It was an ugly, ugly game. I only lose when EA Sports cheats me. I've never been beat in a straight-up head-to-head game.
Obviously.
Kevin Smith gifted 5 Talkin Vols memberships. Shout out, Kevin. Y'all are going nuts. Y'all are boring Cainer. He's like, okay, I'm sick of Boogie making money. Can we talk a little football so I can get out of here? Shout out, Kevin. We appreciate you for the support. 23 memberships away from some free merchandise. Let's come back to expectations, right? We're looking at a 9-win season if you go take care of Vanderbilt. You go win a bowl game, 10 wins. I mentioned Tyree West averaging 10 wins per season at Tennessee. I think when you look at where we've been, I think that's a pretty good track record. I think if you look in the grand scheme of things, you look at history, where Coach Heupel is at with winning percentage, it's pretty special. It's him, it's Philip Fulmer, and it's the general. What do you think our expectations should be as Tennessee fans? This certainly feels like a step back. Maybe an off year, but again, you look at the injuries, you look at the situation with the quarterback, all that type of stuff. But where do you think our expectations should be? You beat Vanderbilt, you win a bowl game, you're looking at another 10-win season.
I mean, here's the fact of the matter. Like, what if Vanderbilt beats Tennessee on Saturday? Vanderbilt's not, I mean, depending on what happens Tuesday night, Vanderbilt's not a shoo-in for the playoff. Like, Vanderbilt would love for Auburn to win the Iron Bowl, would love for a couple of teams in front of them to lose and kind of make their path to the CFP easier. So, if you say if you say expectation, at least in the 12-team era, for Tennessee should be playoffs every single year. If you don't make the playoffs, it's unfortunate. If you don't make the playoffs, it's a failure of a season. It's tough for me to paint this picture. Say Vanderbilt finished the year 10-2 and doesn't make the CFP. That's tough to call that a big failure of a season, in my opinion. So, I think the college football playoffs going to expand. I do. Expectations here, in my opinion, should be you're contending for a playoff spot every single year. And for me, if you're contending for a playoff spot, that means you're contending for a national championship. That's just kind of how I phrase those deals. In the 12-team era, you're going to miss on a year or two every now and again, and still have a 9-3 or 10-2 record with some big wins. Tennessee this year doesn't really have that signature win. If you beat Vanderbilt, Tennessee would have a signature win, finishing 9-3. But my expectation is you should be contending, be in the running, and hopefully not be knocked out of it before or like as soon as the month of November starts. Kind of ride that wave in the month of November, kind of see where it is. And Again, we talk about it all the time, and this can be some offseason content, but I mean, you go back to June, you say, all right, well, Tennessee's going to finish 9-3, and Joey Aguilar is going to do this. You're like, oh, I'm going to take that every single day. I'm going to take that. Of course, you kidding me? Tennessee lost his quarterback the last day of spring ball. Tennessee did this. Tennessee did this. But expectations change when you see Joey Aguilar do what he did against the Georgia Bulldogs. Expectations change when your quarterback's leading the SEC in passing and in passing touchdowns 10 weeks through the season and still leading the SEC in passing yards. Like, those expectations change, but again, you get some more over here and you lose some on the defensive end. So, I don't know. I'm rambling right now. I just think that expectations of Tennessee should always be contending in the running for a spot in the college football playoff. If you're not in that race, I think it's a failure in terms of if you were never in that race. If you play yourself out of that race in October or in September, if you enter the year and say, man, I think Tennessee should get 8 wins this year, that you're past that. You're way past that. Expectations here should be contending for a playoff spot every single year. And then, I think it'll even be easier to get in the playoff whenever the field is expanded to 16 teams because some of those 9-3 teams from the SEC that have good wins will get into the dance.
You mentioned Joey Aguilar, and it's something we've talked about all year long when we talk about, this is kind of a almost, I hate to use the word rebuild because it's not really a rebuild. It's more of just circumstances with Nico leaving, with the injuries. But what Joey's done has been impressive, especially because of short notice, right? This is after spring camp. He's got a handful of months to come in, learn this offense, create chemistry with his wide receivers. I flash ahead to 2026. Obviously, roster retention is huge in the transfer portal era. You got to retain Mike. You got to retain Braylon. If Lance Erd's off to the NFL, you can shift Dave to left tackle. You can plug Jesse Perry in at right tackle. Is Bennett Warren your right tackle? The bottom line is you're returning a pretty solid offensive line. Ethan Davis is starting to come into his own. You're returning a lot of weapons on offense. You're returning a lot of young guys on defense. You got some questions in the secondary, but the big question is the quarterback, and everybody wants to know, is Joey Aguilar coming back? Can he take advantage of the Diego Pavia rule, which he did this year? He wouldn't be playing this year had he not taken advantage of that rule. However, you see this break on Friday evening, Friday afternoon. Joey Aguilar joins the Diego Pavia lawsuit as a plaintiff. I've been talking about this thing for weeks. Certain people are saying, he's coming back, he's coming back, he's coming back. I kept saying maybe, right? If the NCAA passes this, if they give another waiver, Joey Aguilar could come back. But I keep saying until he shows me something, we have no idea whether or not he wants to come back. His name being listed on this lawsuit, does that mean anything to you? I know he was asked again after the game, and he said kind of the same generic answer, that's what I expect from Joey Aguilar. But to me, being involved in this, being listed as a plaintiff tells me at least it's in the back of your mind. Hey, let me go check my options. But he's going to have an opportunity to make some money next year.
Yeah, I think it's what you just said. It's giving yourself another option, right? If Joey's career's done after this year, he'll probably get an opportunity to go to a camp in the National Football League and see if he can hang around or something. But there's no guarantees, at least from a financial standpoint. I mean, your best bet's to come back and play college football again if given that opportunity. That's why Zakai Ziegler's been fighting this entire time. Zakai Ziegler's time at Tennessee's done. He's still fighting, right? And I don't blame these athletes for doing that because, again, you're not going to make this type of money ever again in your life. And so I don't blame them suing for damages, filing a claim against damages or all that type of stuff in Zakai Ziegler's case. I don't blame them. I think Joey Aguilar just doesn't want to get his hopes up, okay? And so he's truly playing this season like it is his last. He's going to go through senior day activities like it's his last football game ever, and like it'll be his last football game ever in Neyland Stadium, play the bowl game like this is his last football game ever, and then just kind of see what happens. Last year on December the 14th, I'm not saying this is exactly the timeline that's going to happen this offseason, but it was December the 14th when NCAA, lost that in the federal courts, and Diego Pavia was allowed to play football, and that essentially allowed Joey Aguilar, Star Thomas, Miles Kutzelman to go and play football as well. So that was kind of the timeline. Will they expedite this to try to get it done before the transfer portal window? I don't know. I could see that, certainly. There's a lot of things I obviously don't understand in the legal system, but the fact that Joey Aguilar has been listed as a plaintiff means, again, like you said, just kind of obviously there's interest, giving yourself another option, and just whatever happens, happens. I don't think there's any expectation there. Again, playing everything like this is his last year, but certainly if he can play another year, that'd be something that he'd be interested in. I would assume that's something that Tennessee's interested in. I mean, why wouldn't you be interested in that? And it, if that were to happen in the next month or so, we go back to this conversation talking about all the stuff returning, all the players returning on offense and defense. And boy, you talk about if Joey Aguilar somehow was Tennessee's quarterback next year, Tennessee is at the top of the list with some of these teams around the country for SEC odds and college football playoff odds because, again, you're bringing back an impact passer. So we'll see what happens. Again, his name being listed as a plaintiff, again, just kind of creating another option for him. So I don't know if they'll win in court. I don't know what this Pavia case is going to do. Of course, this case is to do away with the JUCO rule altogether. So I'll be intrigued to see what's going to happen over the next month, but something definitely worth following.
Let me catch you back up with the chat. Then we're going to hit Vanderbilt briefly. We'll let Cainer get out the door here. Fuzzy got $1, has been a member for 7 months. He says GBO, beat Candy, make Pavia cry. Billy Todd's been a member for 26 months. Shout out, Billy. We appreciate you, my man. Cody for another 10. We appreciate you. Says few more milestones could be hit this game, but we have one of the youngest teams in the SEC as well. Surprising no one has talked about that much, in my opinion. Future is bright on Rocky Top. That's what excites me about 26, man. You got an opportunity in 2026 to do something special. Like Cainer just said, if Joey Aguilar returns, there's going to be a lot of talk about him for Heisman. There's going to be a lot of talk about Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley for the Biletnikoff. There's going to be a lot of talk about Tennessee and a college football playoff run. But I'm not talking about a college football playoff run like 2024. I'm talking about a college football playoff run where people don't want to see you on the other side of the bracket. Now, that said, I'm excited about the offense if Joey comes back. You still got some holes on that defense. If Jamad McCoy is off to the NFL and Colton Hood is off to the NFL, like you would expect, predicted first-round draft picks, you still feel pretty good about Ty Redmond and Ricky Gibson. If Gibson's coming back, those are two pretty good corners. Need some help at safety. Man, a lot of young talent on this football team. Papa T drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip for Papa T.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Shout out to Papa T in SC. Says, Boogie, Tennessee's winning formula, ran the ball, very physical on both sides, pressured the quarterback, scored touchdowns, and attacked the green spaces between the 10 to 20-yard downfield. And Joey was accurate preseason. I said 10-2 or 9-3. Yeah, I love the way Tennessee attacked Florida on Saturday. We'll see what they can do against Vanderbilt. Let's talk briefly about Vanderbilt. We'll get you out the door, Cainer, a team that's looking at a shot at the college football playoff. Like this whole scenario coming up on Saturday is backwards. We went from, on paper, I get it, where everybody's talking about 2003, the streak, all that stuff all week long, but on paper, most people thought Tennessee was a better team than Florida. This week, I think even it's kind of shifted. Tennessee's the favorite by like a field goal. Tennessee's predicted by the FBI, all that type of stuff. But I think a lot of people in the country think Vanderbilt is the better team. Everybody's talking about Diego Pavia, and rightfully so, man. Vanderbilt, we talk about Tennessee and ending streaks. They're doing things that program has not done since most of us have been alive. Pavia's been hot. We mentioned the last 3 games, what he's been doing. Give us the early chatter here about Vanderbilt in your research you've been doing.
Yeah, I dug into Vanderbilt last night, kind of got into the numbers and all that, and I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. Diego Pavia is one of the best players in the country. His running ability, we knew this last year. I mean, he's got over 45 carries more than the running back Alexander in terms of running the football. He's got like 8 additional rushing touchdowns, 26 passing touchdowns. I mean, he does pretty much anything, but it's not just like the production. It's also his quarterback rating is tops in the SEC. His completion percentage is tops in the SEC. I mean, he's being very efficient. He's being very accurate, and I think he's only turned the football over 6 times. And so, I mean, he's dangerous. Tennessee got him at a really good time last year. He was not 100%, and Tennessee just whipped him, and he was a shell of himself last year whenever Tennessee had him in this game. He's the type of guy, and we talked about this on the Rocket Top Rewind last night. He's already made a couple of comments about Tennessee over the offseason. He's the type of guy that I think performs the best when everybody's staring at him, everybody's doubting him. He's going to step into a hornet's nest, and I don't think that's going to faze him whatsoever. And so Tennessee's defense got to mix up some looks for sure because he is a legit player. The difference this year than I think from last year is, I mean, he's got some legit skill around him to help. Like, he had Eli Stowers last year. Eli Stowers has been just as good, if not better, this year. The tight end, phenomenal player. Of course, he's his roommate, and he was with him in New Mexico State. Junior Sherrill's back. They've got Trey Richardson, who's a really, really good player. Out there. They got a couple of other wide receivers as well that have really helped Diego Pavia in this offense kind of go and accomplish everything that they've accomplished. So it's a really good offense. It's it's number 2 in scoring offense, number 5 in total offense. It's number 2 in passing offense, number 5 in rushing offense. I mean, they're up there across the board. So it's going to be a real challenge for Tennessee's defense on Saturday. Now, defensively, I think very gettable, very gettable. They don't sack the quarterback an awful lot. I mean, it's not bad. I think they have like 25 sacks. Third down defense is okay. They've allowed, I have it written down in my notes, they've allowed over 200 yards rushing like 3 or 4 times this year. They've allowed over 30 points scored, I think 5 times this year. They've got a cornerback that's pretty solid. They got 2 linebackers that can run. They got an edge player that's in Miles Capers that's worth noting. But I think this defense is very gettable. I mean, there was talk a couple of weeks ago about if Clark Lee was going to take over defensive play calling because it kind of got that bad. Now, they shut the door down on Kentucky, and you'd say, okay, well, yeah, it's Kentucky. Well, Tennessee's defense unlocked Cutter Boley. I mean, Cutter Boley's been balling here lately, right? And so the way Kentucky was playing offensively, it's like, okay, that's kind of a pretty decent turnout there. But Auburn and all of Auburn's offensive firepower just scored so many points against Vanderbilt. I think Tennessee's off. That's why I think it's going to come down to Tennessee's offense. I think Tennessee's offense is going to have to keep up, right? I mean, you can't afford to have a second quarter lull. You can't afford to go MIA in the third quarter or whatever, because that offense on the other side, Vanderbilt, is going to be really, really efficient in this game, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be high scoring. I could see a shootout. I would like to think that Tennessee's defense being better and playing better over the course of last month is going to make a difference. I don't know yet, because again, how much stock can we put into Oklahoma's offense, Florida's offense, and New Mexico State's offense? I don't have the answer to that. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I think playing at Neyland is hard for opposing teams. Tennessee does not want to lose its 3rd game at home this year. I mean, that does not happen. Much less one win outside or one loss outside of Georgia. That just doesn't happen to Josh Heupel at home. So, senior day, that spoiling Vanderbilt's potential college football playoff run. Seniors, there's a lot that's going to be on the line for Tennessee this Saturday. And so I think it's going to be a great game. But I think it's going to be high scoring, and I think Tennessee's offense is going to need to have a day.
I like all the reasons why, you laid out that Neyland's going to be hostile. And I think beating Florida was huge for this football team, for this fan base going into that game. Because if you lose to Florida, man, any momentum you possibly had going into this game is gone. And I think that vocal minority that like to chatter and talk about firing coaches would have been growing in numbers. So just huge for Tennessee to get the win over Florida in the streak. Now let's go take care of business against Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia. What is going on over at Locked On Vols? What's going on over at VolQuest? I know you guys are jumping into basketball season. Everybody says, Boogie, why don't you cover basketball? Go check it out at volquest.com. But what do you guys got going on right now?
Yeah, they're in Vegas. Grant Ramey's in Vegas. I don't know if he's working or if he's there for pleasure, but Grant Ramey's out there in Vegas this week. They're going to play a couple times this week starting today, so that's going to be exciting to see Tennessee against some legit competition and see that rotation and all that. Signing day is literally 2 weeks away, 2 weeks and 2 days. So there's going to be talk about that. Can Tennessee add to this class? Tennessee Vanderbilt. There's loads going on right now over the general's quarters and at Locked On Balls. And then after this weekend, you really start shifting into offseason mode. Yeah, Tennessee will have a bowl game, and we'll find all that out next Sunday night, or next Sunday afternoon, I guess. But you're going to really start shifting into offseason roster management, what positions are needed in the transfer portal, what's the latest with Joey Aguilar, will Josh Heupel make any staff changes? I mean, you're going to see a sizable shift this time Monday morning next week as you kind of enter that offseason stretch. So loads going on over at VolQuest.com on the General's Quarters and, of course, at Locked On Vols every single morning.
Always good time, Cain. If you guys aren't subbed up to Locked On Vols, go give him a sub and go check out VolQuest.com. We'll catch up later in the week, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, we keep the show rolling. Somebody calling me a Kentucky fan in the chat, man. I'm not. It's a West Canaan Coyotes. You don't like the West Canaan Coyotes, a little Texas football around here? I know some of us are from California, but I'm repping the West Canaan Coyotes. They are out of Texas, right? Did I just make that up? Is Jonathan Moxon? Is Jonathan Moxon, does he play high school football in Texas? I think West Canaan's in Texas. Did I just make that up? Hey, we still got about 300 people watching live. We appreciate you guys tuning in on a Monday morning. If you haven't done so yet, smash the thumbs up, share out the link, all that good YouTube stuff. We would greatly appreciate it. Shout out for the new members that have joined. Shout out for all the gifted memberships. Shout out to, was it Cody? I think it was Cody. Was it Cody? Man, for those that don't know, Cody placed a bet. Yeah, it was Cody. Cody placed a bet early in the season. If Mike Matthews hits this number, if Braylon Staley hits that number, if Joey Aguilar hits a certain number, man, he laid out all these bets and said he was going to gift X amount of memberships for each one of those. That's why that's not counting towards the free merch, because Cody is a man of his word. Cody is paying off his bet. So shout out to Cody. We appreciate that. But if you want a shirt, I don't sell this shirt. I don't have West Canaan shirts, but we do have Talkin VAWLS merch. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Got some Christmas gift ideas here, tumblers, coffee mugs that I don't even know why this is in here. I honestly, is anybody ever going to buy one of these? I put it in there. It was a Christmas gift for Miss J. I thought Coach was going to buy it. He didn't. I don't know who this is for, but it's there. But this is the item. This is the one. This is what, well, this is embarrassing. Why is that not working? This is the item that we want to sell. And you guys, kudos to you guys. You guys showed up last night and bought a handful of them. Buck Fama Christmas tree ornaments. Buy it, throw it on the tree. Don't tell your wife, hide it somewhere. And then show all your buddies when they come over. Show all your family members, look at this Christmas tree ornament. Don't let your wife know. And then I would say a couple of days before the tree comes down, remove that Christmas tree ornament and hide it. Hide it. Don't let her know. And that becomes a game that you play every year. But you can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS and grab that ornament. We also got the TN themed ornament. If you want a little bit something a little bit nicer, you can do that. We got Talkin VAWLS merch, rivalry shirts, parody shirts, all that good stuff. It supports the channel. And spoiler alert, I tried to tell Coach Jay this. He said I used all the profits to buy video games. That's not the case. All the profits from merch sales go to the Bentley family Christmas. That's what we pay used to get the kids Christmas gifts. So we appreciate the support. The link's in the description below. As always, what are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? Kevin says we free up some money now that Boo is a ghost. JP Carter's in the house. What's up, JP? Riley says, talk Cruton. I want to hear some thoughts on our flip targets. Man, it's crazy to think that we're right around the corner from signing day. It just seems like signing day is not a big deal anymore. It's not what it used to be, but we'll be talking some recruiting as we start to move into off-season mode. You guys know the deal on Monday. What we do, we hang out with Cain for a little bit. We talk about the game. We talk about the upcoming game. And then we go take a listen to what Josh Heupel said immediately following the win over Florida. So we are going to do that, but you guys know the deal. You want to hijack the show. You got something you want to ask, something you want to talk about. You know how to do that. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Proud of our football team and the way that they prepared, practiced, and came ready to play early in the football game. Really all three phases, competed hard and played smart football early. We talked about this game being a game of physicality, and thought we won the line of scrimmage early and for the most part during the course of the football game. And, started fast, second half offensively, just kind of messed it up a couple of times, got behind the chains on the first drive, second one, throwing incompletion behind it and end up missing a field goal. But good drive to finish it. Defense, gives up the one big play on the wheel route. Want to finish better than that, but a good win. A lot was made before we came down here about the streak. Proud of our guys' preparation to give themselves a chance to come down here and win. And so good night for Tennessee.
Did any of you guys have doubts about this team being motivated? Any doubts at all? I'm just curious where your mindset was going into this Florida game, because, we talked about it for 2 weeks leading up to the New Mexico State game. You lost to Oklahoma. Your college football playoff opportunities are off the table. At this point, you're playing for pride. Nobody cares about a bowl game anymore. Like nobody cares, which is sad. I wish we could still get excited about a bowl game, but it's just not the case anymore. College football 2025, it's either you go to the college football playoff or a lot of people consider the season a failure. How do these players feel about that? You had the Oklahoma loss, and then you had a bye week, so it was 2 weeks of misery around here on the Talkin VAWLS network, and nothing to be excited about in the New Mexico State game. They come out in that game. They come out flat. They looked uninspired, but you know what? You kind of expected that, right? It's a team that you're favored to beat by 40 points. You're still down after the loss to Oklahoma. I didn't put too much stock into that, but still battered ball syndrome. I'm like, is this team, are they going to phone it in? How much was Boo Carter and all that drama? How much was that impacting it? Did kicking Boo Carter off the team inspire this team in any way? I don't know the answer to that either, but it's pretty convenient timing. You kick Boo Carter off the team, and then this team plays inspired complimentary football. But it's like I just said with Cainer, man, all the reasons to be fired up for this Vanderbilt game, all the reasons that Neyland's going to be rocking for this Vanderbilt game, senior day, last opportunity inside Neyland Stadium. You're playing for a 9-3 season, but you're playing spoiler alert, right? You're trying to ruin little brother's opportunity. Diego Pavia talked all that stuff, ran that mouth, said so much crap about Tennessee, about the state of Tennessee, about how Vanderbilt is going to run the state of Tennessee. And don't you worry, I'm going to be making videos on Diego Pavia this week. We're going to talk about some of the things that he said. Your mouth wrote some checks. Now let's find out if you can cash those checks. All that talk, all those are reasons why Tennessee should be fired up and inspired and ready to go play football on Saturday when little brother comes to town. But the win over Florida gives you that much more motivation. You go lose that game in the Swamp on Saturday, I could see some people checking out. I could see this team being like, who cares? What does this game matter? But you got a little fire in your belly, right? A little bit of pride in your belly, ending a streak, man. I don't care that you've lost 3 games and you're not going to the college football playoff. You did something that this football program has not done in 22 years, and you did it by a margin. You didn't just do it. You beat the brakes off of them. You went out and punched them in the mouth, and you did it by a margin that's not been done since 1955. I told Coach you had to educate him. I don't know why, because Coach is the same age as me, and he knows because we grew up watching the same movies and TV shows. You had to go back. Marty McFly had to get in the DeLorean and go back to 1955 to see the last time that we beat the Gators on the road by 20 points. 1955. That's the whole reason why Marty McFly went back in time, was so he could see Tennessee beat the Gators on the road by 20. Now he doesn't have to do that. It's right here. Back home safe and sound in good old 2025. 1955, guys. Just think about that. I get the frustration. 22 years of misery. Look, I wanted to beat the brakes off of them. I wanted to run it up. I wanted to score 50. I wanted to score 60. It wasn't good enough. We quit. Did we? Because we've not beat the Gators by 20 points since 1955. I think I can be satisfied with that win. JP Carter's in the house, drops a $10 super chat. Shout out JP, man. I appreciate the support. I sometimes feel like saying, hey, man, thanks for the support. Hey, thanks for the super chat. Hey, I appreciate the super chat. Hey, thanks for the membership. I don't think it goes far enough. I feel like it goes in one ear and out the other, man. I get to do this because of you guys. I get to do this because of super chats. I get to do this because of memberships. We get to hang out and have this community because of you guys that support this channel. So shout out JP. I appreciate it. Says, hope you have a great Thanksgiving, Boogie. Well, thank you, JP. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving as well. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? What are you guys doing besides eating a ton of Christmas tree cakes? Do we need to go down this road again? Do we need to talk about Christmas tree cakes? I'm excited about Thanksgiving, man. We're gonna head over to Boone, or towards Boone. That's where we go, and we go old school. We get to cut down the Christmas tree, pick the one that we want, cut it down. Maybe we'll have to dig it up like Clark Griswold. I don't know. But we usually like to go the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but we can't because of schedule. So we're actually going to go on Thanksgiving Day over to North Carolina and look for the Bentley family Christmas tree. I'm excited, man.
Questions will start on the right with Ben and then the left with Austin. Josh, what did go into the fast start, the hot start? Did you even imagine it performing that low one touchdown?
It's a team lost a couple of close games, neutral road games against really good teams, and execution early. It's O-line, wide receivers, quarterback, everybody playing at a really high level in their job. Defensively, went in the line of scrimmage,
matching things out, applying pressure, getting off the field on third down, fourth down stop. Comes down to all 11 doing their job, and we did that early, and proud of our guys for that.
Josh, you talked about it. Once the time Joe's not played complimentary football this year. Do you feel like this is the most complete game y'all played from the standpoint of everybody kind of played all three days?
I think first half we started and played way we're capable of at a high level. Second half, opening kickoff, we get a short field, holding call, and didn't like that sequence. But all in all, I like the competitive edge in all three phases, playing smart, physical football, and playing together.
David up front, and then Adam in the middle.
Josh, your first two times here, you played a little early, but there would be a play that kind of like changed the momentum and they would grab it.
Yeah.
There was never that play tonight. What, just talk about coming into this venue and, playing such a complete half like.
Yeah, we talked about that this week too. That, they're in our previous two trips as a staff and program, there's been a momentum swing that got us off, and it doesn't have to be that way. And no matter what would happen tonight, we talked about next play and staying and fighting and competing together and not being rattled. And ultimately, tonight that never happened in the early part of the football game. But ultimately that comes down to 11 guys on the field playing hard and playing physical and doing their job. And in all three phases, proud of our football team tonight.
Man, it's crazy. We talked about this post-game show, but just going down there to the Swamp and finding every way possible to lose over the last 22 years, all the breaks that went against Tennessee. And then Saturday night, it hit Florida, man, right? Even right out of the gate. I know Tennessee goes right down the field, scores the touchdown, goes up 7-0, but then Florida has that big play to start their opening drive. It gets called back for holding. The sack fumble on Joey Aguilar, he falls on it, and then you run a give-up play with Star Thomas that ends up getting all the way down to the 1-yard line. It's like the breaks went our way, and Tennessee capitalized on that and just went out and punched them in the mouth, man. You question where we were at going to this game. Where the heck was Florida at? And I heard all week long, oh, they didn't quit against Ole Miss. Watch out, Boogie. They're coming for us. We can't beat Florida. They played with Ole Miss. We heard it all week long. You didn't give them an opportunity, man. You didn't give this fan base or this football team an opportunity to get in this game because you went out and you roughed them up from jump. They never had an opportunity to get in this football game. You go right down the field and score 3 and out for Florida. You go right down the field and score again, 3 and out for Florida. You go right down the field and score again. Florida moves it to around midfield. You get the huge stop on 4th down, and you go and score again. Before you can blink, it's 28-0. Florida was done. The game was over. I get the conservative talk. None of it matters. I'm not worried about the field goal before the half. It became a 5-possession game going into the locker room, and the Gators were content to just run the football, run the clock, get out of there, and take their butt whooping and move on to another game. It was over from the second they blew the whistle. And thinking about Tyree West, man, and again, it was AP that made that first comment, and it just made me think, man, it really put perspective on it. As much as I come on here and talk about what Josh Heupel has done for this program, what Josh Heupel rebuilt with this program, he took us from the freaking rock bottom and built this thing back up. And a guy like Tyree West gets to leave Tennessee, and you finish this thing off the right way, and you go beat Vanderbilt, and you go win a bowl game. You finish it off with another 10-win season, and Tyree West wraps up his career at Tennessee, averaging 10 wins a season. But not only that, Tyree West leaves Tennessee beating the Gators 3 out of 4 times. And I think Tyree West is the fun example because he didn't redshirt. He's not a COVID guy, played 4 seasons and done at Tennessee. And he's going to leave here. He can hang his hat on beating the Gators more times than they beat him. Man, when's the last guy that could claim that? I would be interested to see when's the last Tennessee player that played here for 4 years and beat the Gators more than the Gators beat him. Timothy McGee for 5 says, good creativity. Wish he had did that all season. Everything we were all talking about, he did, and it worked. I agree. I think this was the best play calling we've had all year. I don't think the play calling has been horrible. I don't think it's like, oh, we went from a trash garbage offense to all of a sudden we found a spark. I just felt like the play calling, the game plan was the best it's been all year long. I don't think you're up there at the top of the country in scoring offense if your offense is garbage. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying here, Timothy, but I think this offense has been pretty dang good all year long. I think they've been pretty good all year long. The deep shots have been there. If Florida's going to try to take those away, take what's underneath. And that's what Joey Aguilar, that's what Joey Halsley, and that's what Josh Heupel did on Saturday. And that's why we ran them out of the swamp. Thank you, Timothy. Appreciate the super chat, my man. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel post-game after the win over Florida.
Josh, a lot's been made around the country about whether or not guys and teams are motivated when they may not be in the playoff, whatever you play maybe your best game in late November. What do you think that says about this team?
I think this team, they care about each other and they love competing. They love playing ball with each other. And, you guys have heard me say we hadn't put all of it together at the same time yet. And after tonight, I'm still going to say the same thing, but we continue to push forward and get better. And so enjoy this one on the plane ride back. It'll be early morning when we get there, and it'll be time to get ready for Thanksgiving football.
Yes, Coach. With Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas really stepping up for this run game tonight, with 3 combined scores on the ground, what else stood out to you in their performance tonight against the Gators?
I thought they ran physical, ran hard, and finished +2, moved the pile. The goal line runs, they were physical, got some movement up front too, but they created movement all night long, and that was a point of emphasis. Star does a great job on the outside zone on 3rd down, stretching it, puncturing it, and then running through one and making a big-time play. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten smarter throughout the course of the year, and we're going to need that again, next week too. So. This one mattered to them. It was a lot of fun inside of that locker room. It was important to them. They understood the history of this rivalry. We've talked about that, and it was fun to see them enjoy this moment and have a lot of fun together in the locker room. It was cool.
He looks bored to tears.
At the end of the day, running football is our identity. Structure-wise, you got to play to what they're giving you to, and so too high structure and had some space, and we're able to move the football. Credit to the guys up front, tight ends, wide receivers out on the perimeter, and certainly our running backs running extremely hard in this football game.
What did you see out of Aaron on tonight? That double turf, so it seemed like he had a little more explosiveness.
Yeah, resilient, tough, super smart in the middle of the football field, and his ability to communicate the subtle details of what we might be doing based on a formation, back set, whatever. He's dialed into all those things, and then plays with speed and violence, and great tackler.
I'm assuming he's talking about Arian Carter. I love when Tennessee's on the road and you can't hear anything. I know you guys complain about home games when you can't hear the media. You can't hear anything when they go on the road. But based on how he answered that question, I'm assuming he's talking about Arian Carter. And Arian Carter, man, I know I've said this, and I said it earlier to Cain, but it just seems like the more he gets healthy, the more you realize he's not as slow as everybody thinks he is. And his reaction and his violence and the way he met DJ Lagway in the hole. You got to be excited about these linebackers. I'm excited about this defensive line. I talk about how excited I am about the offense, and if Joey comes back, how special that offense can be. I truly believe that this defense can take a huge step in the right direction next year, right? We've seen David Hobbs really start to come on the last few weeks. He's going to be going into his senior season. Nathan Robinson is a redshirt sophomore, but he's a guy that's played a lot of football. Ethan Utley, Isaiah Campbell, a couple of true freshmen that really, really have some talent. Defensive end, Tyree Weathersby and Marion Dye have the opportunity to be really good. I wish, man. Gosh, I wish we could get Tyree West back for another year. And also shout out to Dominic Bailey. Dominic Bailey has had a great senior season as well, but the edge position, so much talent. But that linebacker room, man, Arian Carter, T. Lander, Prelati, Jaden Harmon, Edwin Spillman. Do we see more of a 4-3 look from Tim Banks moving forward? Or do we see he's just going by what they give him, right? And Cainer touched on this earlier, saying they were matching what Florida liked to do on offense. I like a good old-fashioned 4-3, man. Can we go back to the days of playing a 4-3 all the time? Can we pretend like it's EA Sports College Football? But if we do, then I'm just going to get beat. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think you got so many good linebackers, man. So many good linebackers. But Arian Carter coming back next year excites me.
Man, there were a lot of Tennessee fans here tonight. You felt them. I felt them when we got off the bus. And, it's been a while since that group's been down to Gainesville and been on the right side of it. And they're a part of our journey. And, I appreciate our fan base. I know our players do too. They're a huge part of the growth of our program from when we got here, a huge part of recruiting. Not a better fan base.
Dewan obviously had an increased role. I know Peyton was out, but how much of that was him earning that, and what you think of his performance?
For young players and for their families, doesn't always happen exactly when you want it. And I'm just saying this in general. Guys that keep pouring in.
They're talking about Dewan Morris. I don't know if you guys can hear the media. I love how Coach Heupel says this. And then he's like, "Oh, that could be taken it could be taken the complete wrong way," as he's talking about Dewan Morris. Watch his eyes when he's like, "Hold on a second, I'm talking in general here."
For young players and for their families, doesn't always happen exactly when you want it. And I'm just saying this in general. Guys that keep pouring into it, keep working, keep competing, and prove and show that they're going to play at the level that you need to win a SEC football game. Those guys win out 100% of the time, and I'm really proud of Dewan as a young player, his growth in the return game. I was totally trusting him to play in the running back position. He's had all the traits, man. Now his understanding and growth and practice habits and consistency. Now the guys around him and his coaches, everybody believes and trusts in him. Pass protection, whatever it might be. It's how you become a good player and then a great player. There's no shortcuts. You got to go through the forest. You got to put in the work, and proud of what he's done this year.
I know Heupel prefaced that by saying he's talking about all young guys, right? Not just Dewan Morris. He's talking about all young guys. But let's talk about Dewan Morris. Like this is what we want. That's growth, right? That's player development. You got three pretty dang good running backs in Deshaun Bishop, Star Thomas, and Peyton Lewis. Dewan Morris comes in as the true freshman, but it's next man up mentality, right? Peyton Lewis goes down. He's out for the game. That is invaluable experience for Dewan Morris, a guy that is probably going to crack that rotation. He's probably going to step in and be that three-headed monster next year when Star Thomas is no longer a part of this football team. You're going to have Deshaun Bishop, who's really freaking good. You're going to have Peyton Lewis, who I think can still be really good, and Dewan Morris. And man, Dewan Morris and Peyton Lewis have elite speed, track speed. Peyton Lewis, I think it's well known. Dewan Morris, I know Coach brought that up either last night or on the postgame show. He has elite track speed too. That was one of the selling points, was his speed and his athleticism. Man, it excites me to see him get an opportunity, get some run here as a true freshman. Again, that's what development and growth is all about. Your running back room now, whereas it could have been a question mark, man, you start to get a little excited about it for 2026. And you hear Josh Heupel talking about the trust, talking about pass protection, something that a lot of young running backs struggle with. Man, it excites you. I'm telling you, boys. I'm telling you, 2026. Buckle up. Buckle up. If we finish this thing off the right way in 2025 and a 10-win season is all doom and gloom and disappointment, and some people want to fire the entire coaching staff, man, don't come around here. Don't come around here talking about my Vols, my Vols, my Vols. They won, my Vols. When we're making a run to the college football playoff, when we're making a run to a possible SEC championship, a possible national championship, y'all gonna say, Boogie, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. I'll be right here. Don't worry. I'll be right here. If you want to come back and take shots at me exactly 12 months from now, we'll see where this program's at. But you don't get on here and you preach and talk about young talent. And then when that young talent starts to grow and starts to mature, I'll give some of y'all credit, man. Some of y'all in the chat been calling your shot for 2026 for a while now. Not just the last few months, not just when Joey Aguilar came to town. Some people had 2026 circled on the calendar as the year for Josh Heupel to make his run. A lot of young talent on this football team, man. A lot.
Josh, Blackway's had success throwing it and running it this year. How would you evaluate your defense, especially those front guys?
Running back's a really good player. Legway's ability to be a part of the run game. I thought we did a really good job at the point of attack, front seven, safety fits, corners too at times. Did a really good job against the run. Tackled extremely well. I'm going to go back and watch the tape. There might be a couple that I'm not going to be excited about, but for the most part, tackled extremely well. And the ability to apply pressure to him and limit what he was able to do down the football field was a big part in our success in this game defensively.
What is this comment? Just bring on Cain or dog. Just show up when the show starts, dog. Cainer was on the show about an hour and 6 minutes ago when we started the stream. Welcome to the internet. Shout out, Chris. Oh, man, I went off the rails and yelled at somebody in the chat right as Josh Heupel's postgame press conference ended. Just bring on Cain or dog. That's a weird comment, man. That's a weird comment. Oh, that one caught me, and I had to respond to it. The streak is over. Huge win in the swamp. Got a huge game coming up on Saturday. I appreciate you guys grabbing some Grade A Grounds coffee and hanging out with me on a Monday morning. If you don't have any Grade A Grounds coffee, go to gradeagrounds.com. Use the promo code VAWLS, VAWLS, at checkout. You'll save a little bit of money, and you will enjoy that coffee as we sit here on the morning show. We'll be back tomorrow night playing a little EA Sports College Football. Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS live. Friday morning, Black Friday. Guess what? We're going to be here drinking black coffee and talking about Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. I'm going to jump off here, and I'm going to make a video talking about Joey Aguilar. Is he coming back for 2026? He was asked directly after the game when he met with the media. We're going to break down those comments. We're going to do that here in about an hour or so. So make sure you come back and check that out. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. If you're not a member, hit the join button. Fix that. We can't do this without your support. We are grateful, man. I truly mean it. I'm grateful whether you are a member of the channel, you drop super chats, you just smash the thumbs up, you just share out the link, whatever the case may be, man. I am truly blessed to get to come on here and talk Tennessee football with you guys every single day of the year. Timothy McGee for 5 says we need more running backs like Lewis, Henry, as Stevens, Barry Sanders, and Earl Campbell that bounce off defenders like they did. Timothy, I get the vibe that you grew up on some good old 70s and 80s football. You don't like Heupel's offense. You don't like young scat backs. You want the big bruisers. A lot of people thought Peyton Lewis was going to be a bruiser. A lot of people thought, man, why is my mind blanking? Cam Seldon. A lot of people thought Cam Seldon was going to be that big physical SEC back. I don't know that works in Josh Heupel's offense. Cam Seldon didn't work out here. Cam Seldon not only had the speed, he had the size, man. What was that guy, like 220? Didn't work out, transferred out. I don't know. We'll see. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. I will be right back with a video here in about an hour or so. But this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs, how alone and I'm alive.